like all the features available currently for 14 days, no matter what tier you sign up for, to test things out and cancel anytime. But yeah, so like if we wanted to do maybe a new quote, if you have a property that you wanted to look at,
let's say, I don't know, 120 Garrett Road in Glen Burn.
Did I spell that right?
Yeah. It might be 2 T's actually. There it is.
This one?
Yep, that'll work.
Okay. So you can either put your customer information in, or you can just go ahead and start drawing. You just name your area. So if you were doing like lawn, start drawing. So you can zoom in, and and it has the parcel information too. So you can actually hover over different parcels and get the parcel information.
No
and
kidding.
if you actually click on this, it will. You can get the actual parcel data as well.
And by parcel data,
it's like the owner, square footage, like all that type of information. All that comes with it.
So for $15 a month,
yeah,
I can do that 250 times a month?
You get 250 credits just by signing up, right?
Okay.
So that is for a year.
Oh, that's for a year.
250 for a year.
Okay.
So it comes with it, and you can re-up at any time. It never expires.
And so if, like, let's say I needed, I don't know, let's say I use 500 credits a year.
Yeah, so there's a 500 credit package for $30.
Why are you guys so cheap?
Because we are focusing on that mid-range, affordable. There's no sense in spending thousands of dollars a month when we can do it for you and still make money.
Your pricing is insane.
Yeah. So that's one of the benefits of our software. So yeah, if we were to draw this out, let's say I'm going to start drawing, and another thing you can do is we have a mobile app that will be coming out very soon. And if you're on property, you can walk the yard and GPS mark the areas and draw them out that way. And you can take geolocated pictures of the property, and it will tag it to this. So if I do this, and let's say I stop drawing and I want to take a photo, I can snapshot a photo, and I'm just going to grab just some random image on my, right?
So if I was on the property, I could take a picture of that location?
That's exactly right. So you can just grab, like this is our company photo, right?
Okay.
But anyway, you upload that, and then what it'll do is you upload it to that area, and now you'll be able to access that photo, and you can assign it to different areas and sub-areas. So, if you're sending it back to the office for somebody to see that hasn't seen the property, they kind of get an idea what's going on. And then when you get to the design, you can do either services, or if you're going to be maybe planting some shrubs or something like that, you could do shrubs, right? And you can, I'm going to click edit here just to show you. You can get your designs. You can do widths and heights, so it will automatically scale to where your photo zoom is at. You can set up pricing and a conversion. So this is really cool. So if you're doing like mowing, you can say, well, X amount of square feet takes this amount of time, and for this time it costs this much, and it will automatically calculate that cost for you and the time it'll take. Yeah. So
I'm assuming that's on a higher tier.
That's the second tier where you can get the design, and that's $30 a month. Highest tier is $60 a month, and you get the full quoting where you can send out quotes. And I'll show you that in a second. But if, let's say, we're doing, I think we have mowing in here. Yep. So if we do mowing, and we're placing it, and we place it in there, and it highlights it a certain color, and you can change that color, and you can see where it's calculated out. 0.06, 628, right? And then when you get to the quote screen, it'll have this mapped out, and you can change it if you need to, add like an extra 10% or whatever. It'll calculate out the rate. You can do a recurring service. So if you're going to be mowing, let's say 8 times a year or something like that, or however much, you can change the service visits, and that'll automatically calculate it out and give you an annual rate. And then we can design a quote. You can add your branding colors, your logo. You can set a map image, so you can zoom into the map where you want it to, or you can upload a picture if you want. And what it does is if I do the set map image, you can kind of zoom in, kind of get where you need it, set that image. You can add some notes here for your customer. And then on the design of the PDF that's going to print out or email, you can say whether you want to show the thumbnail, show descriptions, all that other stuff. You can add a primary image, so on and so forth. You can add all your contract language, which will be defaulted to this if you add it through the account, such and such. And let's say we downloaded the quote.
So for the quotes and stuff, is that included in the lower tier, or is that's
No,
higher?
that's the third tier.
Third tier, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically you get the measure part of it for the first tier, the measure and design for the second tier, and then the measure, design, and quote for the third tier.
Now, the measuring, can that be saved in the first tier? Or
Yes. This is kind of how the quote would be laid out.
Man, that's
I don't
cool.
have a lot of the information in
Yeah,
here,
no,
but you can
I
kind of get a
I
gist.
can appreciate
Yeah.
it too. That is very cool.
Yeah. So, yep. And I'm sorry, what was that question?
So are these measurements and stuff able to be saved, like on the account?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. So as soon as you put in an address and you spent that credit on it, it will automatically save that quote.
Okay.
And you can go back to it and revise it as much as you need to. You can duplicate the quote if you want to give a couple of different versions. One thing that we're going to be doing in the future as well is alternate quoting.
Okay.
So on one quote, you'll have maybe a few different options where you can turn on and off a few services.
That's cool.
So then you can send out options.
Because I
of
do
what you
that
want.
with what I have now, but it's annoying. Like, because I use Service Autopilot. I just tell people, check mark what you want.
Oh, right.
You know?
So this way, you could send them a couple versions of the same quote, basically, and then they can say, well, yeah, I kind of like this one without this or whatever, and then you'll be able to send a link to the payment system, so it's in the quote. They can just click on it, approve it, pay the down payment, whatever they need to do, and then you get your approval through here. And then in the quotes, you have your list of all your quotes here.
Wow.
You can name the quotes, what the quote date is. There's a status if it's a draft or approved or so on. So if I click on this, it'll show you declined, accepted, canceled. And then,
so the lowest tier is $15 a month.
Yep.
That gets you 250 quotes for the year for credits.
Yeah,
And
250 free credits if you want to check that out.
That's really cool, man. I might end up. No, not might. I'm probably gonna